Does your AI keep making up components? The scenario, you ask Claude Code to design a screen, and it builds something with a component or something that's supposed to be a component that is very different from anything you've ever seen. And it's very different from what your teammate's shipping, which is a completely different component in a different part of the product. This means that your design system is not working with your AI. It's time for an upgrade. In this video, I'm going to walk you through step by step how to start creating a new component library within your code base that is going to be way more AI agentic based. My suggestion is using shadcn as a baseline because it's super customizable. I'll explain more later. And stick around for the end because I'm actually going to give you tips and tricks to be able to communicate with your engineering team to make sure what you're building is actually aligned with the company goal so that you can all ship products faster with AI. I'm starting a community where I am giving tips and tricks daily. We're having monthly sessions where I'm helping teams be able to design faster with AI. You can be a designer, a PM, a founder, anyone that is super interested to be able to learn this design to code process. If you're interested and want to learn more, there is a link in the description below. Okay, let's get started. Here are the 5 signs that you should rethink your design system. It's past its sell-by date. If you hit 3 of any of these 5, you should probably rethink. The first one is that your component lives in 3 different places. So if you have a source in Figma, but it's different than the source of truth, and your code base, which is different than the Storybook, which is different than the Notion page where you have all of your changes and updates there, then it's not really working, right? It's not providing the value it needs to provide to your team. The second one, that you are asking AI to generate a page and it's pulling and creating components that you've never seen before, then clearly your component library and design system is not working for your AI. The third one, if your product looks dated, so if you're embarrassed about how your product looks and feels and some of the components and you feel like it's outdated, this is a really great time to rethink it and build it from the ground up using AI best practices. The fourth one, if your tokens are scattered everywhere. So if you have hex codes that are hard-coded in CSS, then that is not the best practice. And that's not a way that AI is going to be able to build well in your design system. So you should probably think about restructuring your design system or redoing the design system. And point 5 is if you have new team members joining the team and they're literally asking you like, which buttons do I use? How do I use this design system? And every week something is changing, then probably you should rethink how to build a better design system. So those are the 5 points. Okay, so let's say you've made the decision that you need a new design system component library. And now your biggest concern is, where do I start and how long is it going to take? So shadcn, dun, 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 this is where I think most teams should be navigating and migrating when building a new design system for a few reasons. First, it's free, it's open source, and there's no license to manage it. So you can take it, do whatever you want with, and it's super, super, super customizable. This is like the game changer here. You can bring in your style, your aesthetic, your design.md, your branding, and it's really going to be able to create components that are super custom, but under the hood is they are built in the best way possible for you and your team to have a component library that AI can work really well with. And I think one of the best parts also is that it's always updated, which means you can always pull updates. And because it's one of the most common design systems, you don't have to worry that it's going to become outdated or that the functioning of the components won't work, especially if you're connected to the shadcn components individually. And then the last one is that because, again, this is the most documented design system out there, that means that AI, it's built with AI. So AI understands how shadcn works. If you hear all the people are like, oh, every website has shadcn, that's because it's out of the box, it's not custom, which we're going to talk about, but it also means that AI can read it really well. So now I'm going to show you a quick migration. It's not going to be every detail, but it's going to be high level how you can take shadcn and actually start building this component library directly into your code base. I do suggest that if you are doing this, that you do chat with your engineers and understand how is the best way. So I'm going to tell you like high level best practices. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, sorry, let me say it again. Okay, so here I am at my terminal. A quick note, if you are not familiar with coding or you haven't really connected Claude Code and you haven't actually done the design to code, no worries. I suggest that you check out an intro video on setting it up. I'll put it in the description below. So the first thing that I suggest is that when you are starting to create this new component library is you want to create a branch where it's not actually touching any of the code base, any of the current component library. And you're going to be this is like a test that you're going to be starting to build. So what I suggest is you go into a different branch. So let's create a branch called shadcn design system. And what we want to do is we want to create a sibling package. So basically what that means is that I am going to create exactly how a design system works, like exactly where it is, which is in packages UI. I'm going to create a sibling package so that I'm creating my component library completely in here and it's not touching the current component library or messing anything up there. Can we create a sibling package? I'm going to be creating a new component library that I want to eventually switch to, but I want to use this for building it first. I love to give Claude all of the context, so it's going to make sure it understands why it's creating this sibling. And basically, like I said, the goal is that once you have this component library working, is you can migrate over. You can work with your engineering team on how to migrate that. Okay, we'll do this one. Sorry, I'm actually going to say, let's do UI/UI next, because it is called UI and I want to just say UI next so that it's communicating that this is what's coming next. Okay, so I've actually already used shadcn in here, so it's actually pulling it up. But what I would say is after it creates that package is then I would say install shadcn here with all base components. So this is what I would say. It actually is already doing it because it already is connected to, because I did this in a previous branch. So, okay. So now what I want it to do is I want to make sure that all of the shadcn components that we are bringing in are actually being built with AI context. So what I'm going to tell it to do is first, okay, so the first one is I want to make sure that we are building these components based on the cal.com, the brand design. So one thing that's super popular, I'm going to make a future video about, is design.md files are now, it was founded by Google. And this concept is basically that it has like the rubric for AI to understand your brand and understand the colors, the fonts, the styling, the rounded corners, the spacing. And so you guys should create a design.md file. I will explain this in another video. But one way you could do this is say, hey, read the documentation of my design.md and make sure that these components are being built with the brand in mind. If you guys don't have a design.md, you probably in your code base, because you have some kind of component library, it has some kind of source of truth of the tokens and the design elements. And you could basically go and say, can you tell me what the current design look and feel and brand is, so that we can make sure that we're creating these buttons. And you can do plan mode and it's going to get there. I think we have a design.md file in here. So I'm going to say, read the design.md and apply everything defined there to any of the shadcn components that I'm going to be building. So make sure that the foundation is there. Another quick tip here. You see that I have auto mode on. So if you guys are going through all of the enter questions where it asks you everything, you can basically do shift tab until it gets to auto mode on. And that means that it's only going to ask you questions at critical points. So for vibe coding, vibe designing, whatever you want to call it, it speeds things up a lot. I did start without this and I feel like it was super helpful because I actually was like learning a little bit more by it asking these questions. But this is basically you let it run, do its thing. Okay, perfect. So it's basically saying there's an agents.md file, which is basically talking to all of the AI agents that distills the design.md into actionable rules. Amazing. And something like this, it is easy to set up overall. And it's basically, you just want to make sure that your Claude.md file, in it says, follow the design.md file. And then you can also clone that file for it to be for agents, because the Claude.md only speaks to Claude. And if you're using other tools, you want to make sure that whatever agent you're using, that it is making sure that it's pulling those decisions at a high level. Like make sure before you build anything, read the design.md. Okay, perfect. Foundation in place, telling me all of the details, where the token systems are. Perfect. So if you don't have these tokens and systems applied, that's okay. You can build them. but there probably is some kind of standard. If your naming and your tokens and your conventions are wrong, like I said, one of the reasons to start this over is like you say a hex code versus black 300, then that's something you can use Claude Code and you can build on top of. And I can kind of show you in a second when we spin up the Storybook. The next big thing that we want to do is we want to make sure that each component has a meta scheme. What is a meta scheme? So it's basically you're speaking to the AI in words that they understand. So it's going to say how this component relates to other component, when to use this component. It's basically creating all of this additional information so that when you tell the AI, when you tell Claude to build a modal, a destructive modal, it's going to know to bring the destructive button, because the destructive button says, hey, use this whenever you're using a pattern where it means that there's going to be a destruction happening. So it's going to be able to match that, because it's not going to have to search for those answers or make it up, which is a lot of what happens when it just comes up with ideas. It's actually going to know because it's communicated very clearly in the documentation. So what I'm going to say is make sure each component has the attached meta scheme and the output component has all the 4 pillars filled in. Let me tell you what that is. Okay, so basically what this means is that this is the schema. It's defining the component. The atom is an atom, a molecule, an organism. What's the description of it? What is the relationship? What is the token? What color, spacing, typography, and the AI hints. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste it here. Okay, so now what I'm trying to create is basically, let's say, a skill, which we should eventually turn it into, is every time I build a component, it needs to make sure that it's pulling from the design.md, and it needs to make sure that it is creating this meta.ts so that AI can read. So look, it created this in the agents.md. Every component must ship a meta.ts matching the component meta, and it should follow these pillars: the component, the props, the variants, relationships, tokens, AI hints. Run on every change. Amazing. Okay, perfect. So now what I want to do is I want to start with the button. There are ways for you to be able to understand what are the top components being used in the product. Like you could ask, what are the components that we use most often? Can you do an audit? And it's going to do an audit for you. But I know that a button is one of the most common. So let's just start there just to show you guys. So I'm going to say, use context 7 to pull current shadcn and Storybook docs. Scaffold Storybook, and make sure we're starting with building a button as the first story. Read the design.md and make sure we have an output as the attached schema. So I'm giving it, let me press this. I'm giving it a lot of extra instructions for this first one, but essentially as you continue to build, you won't need to give all of these details. So here I say context 7. What is context 7? It's basically a plugin where it goes in and it's able to pull all of the documentation for these open source platforms without you having to point to them, which is really awesome. So it's just going to be able to scaffold and build Storybook or shadcn just by pulling context 7. And a quick note is that if you are trying to build this design system, you're trying to build a new design system and your team is struggling, I am currently running workshops to help teams understand how to build this design to code process. So if you're interested, there is a link in the description. Okay, so it looks like the button is done. I'm going to say start Storybook. Okay, here we go. Here is our button, pulling from our styling. And what you'll see here, that it has everything defined. Okay, can choose the sizing. Perfect. Disabled. An error. Okay, perfect. And you'll see that each one is defined here, right? There's a variant sizes so we could see. So something that I've been doing is I also want to see that metadata. So can we add to Storybook for each component a section where it defines what the metadata states clearly? And it's a way for me to make sure that my component library is communicating clearly what each component is supposed to do. This is great. It's making sure the pattern becomes the convention for every future component. Okay, let's see. So now it has this metadata tab, right? And it's basically defining all of my properties, all of the Boolean, the sizing, the variance, when to use each, right? Primary CTA, companion, size small, compact button for table rows, invalid combinations. So it defined all of this by using shadcn's descriptions and understanding, as well as learning from what you currently have. This is something that you guys should go back and forth on in the code base. Like if you feel like it's not defining them clearly of when to use each, go back, chat with it, define it clearly, and make sure that this document is super clear and correct, because that means that AI is going to be able to get it on the first try versus on the 10th try when you're trying to communicate what you want in your page. So a little disclaimer here. This video is high level. So if you work within your company, you need to make sure that your team and your engineering team get aligned before you start doing any of this, because they're going to make sure that you are actually building this in a way that they can define it and take it and actually push it into the current platform. And there's a couple of things to do that I suggest when chatting with engineers about this. You should go have a meeting with them, and you should have 3 things with you. Basically, the first thing is the audit. So why do you want to do this? What do you want to do? Define 5 components and make sure that it's clear to them that you want to ship these and you want to test them with Storybook and make sure that makes sense to them and make sure that they understand what shadcn is and they're on board with it. And then the last question is like, what is the lowest risk way to be able to introduce these new components? And they're going to have a plan in place that they think makes the most sense for you. What I don't want you to do is to do this on your own. You have all of this and then you're like, oh, gave it to my engineers and they didn't know what to do with it, so nothing's ever going to be implemented. So I think that having these conversations early and often is a great way that you and your team can make sure that you will be building a new component library that is aligned with how your company is structured and how the product team is structured, so that you can build an AI component library that is going to be able to help your team ship 10x faster. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe below. I put out content weekly on how to ship faster with AI. I'll see you guys in the next one.